Good morning, everybody. How is everybody today? Give me a second here. I just need to get my previews up and running so I can see what's going on. Ooh, hang on a second. I'm just trying something a little different with my preview systems. Yeah, there we go. That's working. And Steam is not. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Alright. Hopefully I've got all this arranged. Good day. Welcome to the weekend. How's everybody doing? So, what are we doing today? Well, it's not the Long Dark. It's not even the Long Dark Wintermute. It's going to be Prologue. Go Wayback. The demo. A couple of days ago, let me just start. What is Prologue? Go Wayback. It is, well, you can check the blurb in the description, which I copy and pasted and I have now forgotten. But basically it's a single player survival game where you have to go from point A to point B across a map. That's it. Except it is supposedly very unforgiving. It doesn't lead you by the hand. You have to watch out at least for weather, you have to forage for food, you have to forage for shelter, you have to figure out how to make a fire. And I mean, you've got to figure all this stuff out. It's not sort of given to you on a plate. It's not a case of craft a fire, you put a fire down, bingo, you've got a fire. At least that's my understanding. It sounds, to be honest, quite fascinating. And so it is in theory supposed to be in early access as of this spring, but it isn't. So a demo dropped, as I said a few days ago, and that's what we're going to take a look at. Now, it's going to be iffy, it's going to be clunky, it's not going to be polished, and I expect all kinds of problems with it. I have played it a bit. According to Steam, I have fiddled around with it for 49 minutes, but a lot of that was simply making sure it runs, settings, which I will go into and show you. The interesting thing about the demo is that it is not certified for Steam Deck. Now, typically, if it's certified for Steam Deck, it means it'll run on my computer, which is a Linux-based system. So is the Steam Deck. It's an AMD-based system. GPU and CPU, so is the Steam Deck. But this is not certified Steam Deck yet. However, it does run, and it seems to run moderately well. So having gotten over that part, let's take a little look. And I'm taking you through everything from startup so you can see what to expect. My understanding is each map is unique. I think it's procedurally generated. We'll see what happens, huh? As you can see, I have you should be seeing, yes you are seeing, my G-overlay display, so we can take a look at system performance. And if, it gets in the way, I can get rid of it. But I'm curious to see system performance. I've already got some small idea. And we'll see. Okay. Has a seed system, apparently. Hi everybody, welcome to our demo of Go Wayback. The game is in active development, it is not feature complete. We plan to work with our community to build the experience together, and so on and so forth. Go Wayback uses our guided generation terrain system to create millions of distinct 8x8 kilometer maps. That's not huge, that's what, 64 square kilometers? based on the Czech Bohemia region. This demo cycles through 4 maps with no time limit or number of deaths. Therefore experiment. Okay. Let's take a look and see what happens. So, what are my settings? These are the settings I was using previously. I'm working basically to get sort of 60 frames a second, and this is what I arrived with. I assume this is not everything. You can see my resolution. I've set everything to medium. I can probably switch off anti-aliasing, because if you've got sufficient resolution, anti-aliasing technically isn't necessary. I've got motion blur switched off. I'm not using an upscaler. I'm not using frame generation. I don't honestly know how well that would work. I don't actually know what it is. I assume it's that FSR thing, but I'm not sure how well it works with a 7800 GPU, which is what I'm doing. So we will probably be messing around with settings as we go, so that I can get a more or less consistent performance. Ignore the frame rate until we actually get to the game itself. Well, first observations. You'll notice that my system does run warm. That's to be expected. I'm running at 95 frames a second. Wow. 100, 111. Okay, I do have an observation to make at this point. That frame rate does tend to be a bit all over the place. I have a suspicion that the graphics aren't really optimized, which is to be expected. It is interesting that the GPU is running at 99%. And the CPU is running nicely multi-threaded, it has to be said. That temperature's fairly typical. I have a small form factor PC, so they tend to run hot, and I'm not using water cooling because I don't like water cooling. If anybody's really fascinated, I might explain why I don't like water cooling. Okay, so could we do any better? Let's have a little look outside and see how it behaves outside. Oh, that's quite good. It looks quite nice. I'm not sure what we've got over on the top right. There's nothing, by the way, obscured on the bottom left at the moment. But on the top right it looks like we have a temperature gauge, and I'm assuming that's hunger and thirst. I don't actually know. But this doesn't look too bad. Oh, we have a generator that seems to be operational. And we can interact with it. Okay. Can I pick up stones, sticks? I haven't actually spent much time outside, so this is the first time I've really gotten a good look at what it looks like outside. I mean, it looks like a fairly realistic pine forest. Oh, we have birdsong. Always a nice touch. It looks like my body temperature, assuming that's what it is dropping. Can I interact with anything out here? Yeah, you can't see, but there's a little dot in the center of the screen that turns green. Oh, you can. Oh, look at that. Those presumably are mushrooms, which I would be very reluctant to have anything to do with in a real-life situation. Mycology, study of fungi, is not a specialty. Oh, yes, we can. Large branch. Oh, okay. I can pick it up. That sounds awfully basic, doesn't it? I can pick up a large branch. Nope. I'm just seeing what I can interact with here. I'm going to assume that you don't get to make things like axes out of stone and this sort of thing, given that the game is portrayed as being basically travelling across the landscape. I'm going to assume that its focus is going to be basic survival. I have no idea, by the way, if there are animals here. If it's set in the region that it says, there could be, I think, brown bear, maybe lynx, wolves. Those are the three predators that immediately come to mind. Frame rate is dropping a bit. Not too bad. Let's see. Yeah, the GPU isn't even maxed out here, which is interesting. I would have thought it would be otherwise. The CPU is running somewhat hot. Don't worry too much about that. As I said, I have a small form factor system, and streaming adds to the CPU load. In fact, it is at 8.6% at the moment. The other thing which probably doesn't help my frame rate a huge amount is that oh, it's starting to rain. The at rest, when my system's at rest, the GPU actually uses about 15%. That's because I have 3 screens. And yeah, so if you were only running 1 screen, you would probably pick up a bit more performance. But oh, I'm seeing some stutter there. And I'm getting colder. If you do download the demo, and at this point I'm inclined to say, you know what, if it's free, go ahead. There is one issue I had to deal with, which I will show you in a second. Yeah, the first issue and in fact the only issue I really had to deal with when I was just started the game is this one, and that is controls. This camera sensitivity was set very low. It was set down to about, I think, here. And that was the result. But that was easily fixed. So this is much more reasonable. It's awfully bright in here. The other thing that occurred when I first started up the game was that my settings were actually set to epic. Now, why that would affect the lighting, I don't know, but you can see the immediate effect. It drops the frame rate significantly. Good morning, Danny. How are you doing? So, yeah, Epic is becomes 41 frames a second. And what does it look like when we go outside? 41, 37. Like I said, if I wasn't streaming, I'd probably do a bit better. Or if I was playing on only one screen. GPU is maxed out, because of course it is. But I mean, it has to be said, that looks quite nice. Oh dear, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm hopeful. Oh yeah, we're dropping down to 36 frames per second according to this. I'm assuming that there is still some optimization to be done with the graphics. Let's see what we can improve. Let's drop the anti-aliasing. And actually I'm not sure about post-processing. Let's see whether just dropping anti-aliasing down makes a difference. I did click apply, didn't I? Ah, there we go. And it has to be said, dropping anti-aliasing down hasn't made a huge difference. So what we're going to do at this point is I'm going to aim for 60 frames a second. And yes, I'm pretty certain that on the top right there, that blue bar is my body temperature. That is a nice effect, has to be said. Is that rain or hail or both? Because honestly, yeah, I think that's supposed to be rain. But this is actually, that's actually quite nice. And obviously the harder it's raining, the more my frame rate is dropping, which would make sense. It's having to do with more and more effects. So let us drop this down to high. See whether we get any difference. Huh. Actually, it's not making a huge difference. I'm wondering if it's actually ignoring the settings. Oh, there's lightning. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be out in this in reality, would you? Oh, control is crouch, shift is run, E is sort of interact. Ooh, they're starting to... Did they start to sneeze? And shiver. And 50... Yeah, you can see the frame rate I'm running at there. Let's see whether dropping this back down to low, medium, actually does have an effect on performance. Oh, yes, it does. Yeah, a little bit better. And that really looks like thoroughly miserable weather, doesn't it? Yeah, like I say, if I wasn't streaming, I would anticipate getting 60 frames a second off this. Medium. I'm curious to see what happens when you die for the first time. The colour. No, that's interesting. It is weird that when you change the settings, the colour appears to shift. This has now gone grayscale. Is it grayscale inside? Yes, it is. I'm moderately certain that's not supposed to be how it is. Let's see whether that... Oh. Maybe it is intended to look like this. Oh, I wonder if the time is accurate. I mean, I don't mean accurate for me, I mean, is it game accurate? Now, I do know a few things about the game, because obviously I've played it a bit. There is a stove here. Oops. Oh, that's interesting. Oh. Hang on. I can put it back. There doesn't seem to be any water in there, and you would think me being right on top of it would actually improve my levels. Oh, okay. It is supposed to look like this. And I suppose one of the big problems is we have broken windows. Now, I knew that. This is the one thing I have messed around with a little bit. A little bit. Yes, you can pick up a fuse and put it in the fuse box. I don't know if it does any good. There doesn't seem to be anything in the drawers, but I'll show you that in a second. And this is a... yeah. See if we can light a fire. There we go. Let's see. Well, you can make a roaring fire at least, and I'm warming up. Getting cold, apparently. One thing about the inventory that you haven't really seen is it is extremely limited. Let me demonstrate. Let's grab the compass, grab the binoculars, and you can start to see that you're going to have a limit. You're going to have to arrange your backpack quite considerably. You don't exactly have a huge amount of room for stuff. I happen to know already that this is the map. So as you can see, oops. Oh, that's an interesting effect. Yeah, I've got to go nearly due east from here, which is why you want the compass. But if you want to put it away, you can fold it up but as you can see, it's going to seriously limit what you can carry, so you're going to have to make some very careful decisions about what you take with you. I don't know whether the binoculars are part of it. That is another drawstring backpack. It doesn't appear that you can pick it up, so I'm not sure about that. I don't seem to be able to put on any other clothes, but let's have a little look. We've got a nice fire, and I noticed the frame rate is dropping, which is interesting. And I can only assume it's due to the atmospheric effects. Oh, I hadn't tried that before. We've got a nice fire going at least. They don't seem to be giving you any place to rest. But, and I can't sit down in front of the fire. Alright. I'm actually looking for the hammer. Yes, and there is a reason I'm looking for the hammer. It's because I think we have to board up these windows, so... and I can't see. Hang on. Nope, that's firewood. That's good to know. We're leaving footprints behind. That's a nice little touch. And we're leaving footprints behind inside, which I can only assume is due to, I don't know, something. Well, at least it's not raining. Oh, F. F is put things under your arm. And in fact, the last time I was playing around here, there were several boards that you could use. B to cycle modes. Nope. It's not giving me a clear indication about cycling modes. That's alright. We're just messing around at this point. Slightly disturbing that I can't... oh. Interesting that it showed... nope, don't want to do that. Yeah, can't see. Doesn't help. So far, it's interesting. It has to be said. Hang on. Ah, and I've run out of wood. That's okay. Let us Alright, that's quite a bit of wood we can carry. Ah, fire's out. Okay. Let us make another fire. Oops. Yeah, it's a bit difficult not being able to see. Well, of course, I can just switch on this. Oh, there was some tinder outside, wasn't there? Let us go and get that. Nope, not there. Other door. Well, at least I'm not freezing to death. But... ah, here we go. Oh, actually, one thing we ought to do. Do we have any stars? No. Is it just clouds? Honestly, it's difficult to tell. I mean, it looks like clear skies. Let's see if we can't make a fire. Okay. Okay, let's put the yes, you can start to see the problem. That hammer is big. You're not going to want to take that with you necessarily everywhere. And let's see if that actually starts the fire. Heh, looks like it does. Ah, I don't know. Let's see, this just helps. Oh yes. Not that much. Ooh, that started to catch fire. I wonder what happens if you pick it up when it's... ah, no, it's not going to let you. Yeah. No, that's a little disconcerting. It doesn't look like a log. I'm sorry, Danny. I'm ignoring you. I apologise. How was your shift? Oh, I'm used to using the mouse to... oh, okay. we have daylight and we're still running at 41 frames a second. Yeah, frame rate is a little bit all over the place. I can only assume that is due to circumstances. One thing I am curious to know is, can I break these up? Let's see. Okay. Oh! Huh. Let's see what happens if I drop it. Oh, that's interesting. Can I not break this up? No. Apparently not. It's now pretty much stuck on the idea that I'm carrying a plank which has now vanished on me. Can I break this now? No. Hammer. Left mouse button. Hold last... B to cycle build modes. Yep, not seeing any cycling of build modes there. How's my fire doing? Alright, what else have we got? That's fuse, that is... but no. A Walkman and a cassette, it looks like, which seems to me to be a little bit pointless. Cardboard. Don't know if I need the radio. Oh, I know what I want to find out. Let's see if the binoculars work. One thing I wanted in The Long Dark was binoculars. Yeah, let's put that away. Oops. Oh, okay. Well, that works. That's nice. Did I lose part of my roof in the light? Because there was some flapping going on, wasn't there? Okay. Let's have a quick look and make sure. I've actually checked this before. And what's that? I have no idea what I just picked up. Oh, a bucket. Okay. Ah, we have apples. Okay. I'm going to be saying okay a lot. I don't know why I might need a cutting board. Oh, no, hang on. Yeah, I'm pretty certain there's nothing in these. This has been steadily steaming away the entire time, which is kind of interesting. Let's ooh, I forgot one thing I wanted to check under settings is controls. Crouch. Press a key to bind to the action. Ooh. Run. Okay, that works better for me. I'll see if I can remember it. So, where were we heading? Yeah, you can see the problem. I don't have enough room to carry the hammer. Okay, where were we headed? I'm there, and we need to head... Yeah, let's just head off and see what happens. Good morning, little nugget. Wow. My CPU is running quite hot. $91. Typically it's okay at that. This is slightly nerve-wracking. Alright, so if we've got to go mostly east... Oops, where's my compass? So, north is that way. Oh, I'm wrong. We need to go mostly west. Let's just see what happens. How do I put that away? Hang on. Press. Nope. How do I put something away? No, it doesn't matter. It is a nice day. Alright. So we're heading mostly west and a bit south. So let's see where this takes us. At most, it can only be about 8 kilometers. 8 kilometers isn't far, to be honest with you. You can make that typically fairly quickly. And yeah, as we start proceeding into the forest, the details, yeah. And in fact, yeah, we got some distinct stagger there, and that is. Oh, this is interesting. This would obviously be the kind of place you would take shelter in. I wish they had a compass in the long dark. That would be nice. I'm not making any great pretense at surviving. I'm just looking around. Let's try and get our frame rate up a bit. Let's drop that down to medium. Hasn't made... Oh yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, we've got some definite stagger there. Wow, that's really... the GPU utilization has dropped at least. Well, I'm playing Prologue, Go Wayback, the demo, which isn't even certified for Steam Deck, and it seems to be working well enough. I mean, it's obviously got a ways to go, but it's interesting. Yeah, that CPU temperature is slightly nerve-wracking. It is running some threads at 100%. And the GPU, yeah, so that system would get hot. Oh no! Oh dear, I'm sorry to hear that, Danny. Oh, yes. Okay, well thanks for dropping by. Have a good day, little nugget. I'll do my best. Oh, you can hear the dog outside. It's not my dog. Neighbour's dog. Ooh, I'm getting very thirsty, apparently. I think that's... Whoa, I died of hunger. Ha! Okay. Oh, it's interesting. Just see if I can just restart it. Oh, okay. It's going to do the unsophisticated restart. That is a complete restart. It's gone back to the beginning of the game, I think. Yes, yes it has. There we go. It's kind of interesting. It looks like they are... Ah, that's... I'm looking at the CPU over here. It really shouldn't be at 100% on those threads. Okay. And we have some distinct problems with the graphics here, in that was a restart, and look at the frame rates. The frame rates are really, really bad. Oh, there we go. It settled. Ah, it was loading in. Had a guess. Alright. I'm interested in seeing some more of the terrain. Okay, so I need to head east. Yeah, east and a bit south. Okay, let's go. Let's just try that. Let's just go and see what there is to see. I do want my compass. Grab the compass. Grab that. I'll take the fire starter. Do I want the radio? I don't know. Right. East. I'm just interested in seeing some of the terrain. That's actually southeast, isn't it? Alright, let's head southeast. And we have similar kind of forest, it looks like. Pine forest. I have seen... Oh! That's a... I think we have a glitch. Excuse me a second. Because that looks like it is... Yes, it's the same hut. It's just half buried in the ground. Okay. Alright. Southeast I said, didn't I? East and south. So that's about that way. Alright. Let's head off this way and see what there is. No, I'm not trying to survive, if anyone's wondering. I'm just trying out the demo. Oh, that's nice countryside. I'm just curious to see what it all looks like and how it behaves. And yeah, we're getting some graphical glitching there. Yeah, that's not a region you would necessarily want to just run down. How does that look on the map? Oh. Okay, so you're gonna... Hey! I had only just noticed. Contour lines. So, getting down there. How would we get down there? That's going to be its own little challenge, isn't it? Ah. Back over this way, it looks like. If anybody's not familiar with reading a map, this is going to probably give them a quick lesson. But yeah, those... Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop the graphic settings down to low. Oh, that's interesting. It hasn't dropped everything to low. Hang on. There we go. It's not too bad at low, it has to be said. Frame rate's improved, yes. And again, that's fungus, which I can interact with. Yeah, I wonder if the stagger is due to loading the map. Yes, you know what it could be? It could be that. You see similar behavior in Minecraft, actually. When you go from loaded chunk to unloaded chunk, you can see situations where the frame rate will mess around. CPU temperatures are still higher than I'm entirely comfortable with, but like I say, if I wasn't streaming, that would be, whoa, less of a problem. I tell you what, if you ever want to test your CPU cooler, compile Vulkan shaders. That will run all your threads at 100% for some time. I typically run at 90% when it does that. So it could just be that the fans haven't kicked up. Yeah, that's... I'm not actually going to make detailed reports to the developers. Anything I report, somebody else will have observed, I've no doubt. Okay, now we're heading into more deciduous type forest. Nice autumnal colours, which at least tells me that this time of year is autumnal, and I'm starting to get very cold. Technically, though, if it's autumn, those ferns ought to be brown. Let's see if we can get down to the river. I don't know why they have a run function. Oh, yes, I'm starting to freeze to death. You know what I envisage? I envisage people doing speed runs on this. How fast can you get to safety? Oh, yeah. definitely some stagger, and my CPU is not actually at 100% when it does that. No, sorry, the GPU. In fact, when it has those staggers there, the GPU drops substantially, which implies to me it's not a GPU related issue, it's something else, and I don't know what it is. I wondered whether it was a map loading issue. It certainly could be. I mean, it has to be said, compared with other games that I have played which don't look similar, but The Forest and Green Hell, looks to me like a similar type of graphics, except this is hammering everything much more than, to be honest, than I would expect. I just want to see if I can get down to the river. Yeah, it doesn't give you an indication of where you are. I'm going to feel guilty about killing Lucy off. Lucy is the protagonist's name according to the screen at the beginning. Now, in principle, if I continue going downhill, I should hit the river. But it looks like she's going to freeze to death before she does that. I have to confess, looking at CPU utilization, I'm wondering how thread safe this game is. But I'm by no means an expert. I'm heading more or less in the right direction. Just slowly dying, that's all. Yeah, in previous mussing around, I have not seen this level of CPU usage, and it does make me wonder about thread safety, which is basically they've got a thread, say, running on one of the part of the program running on the core, and is it busy doing something that it shouldn't need to? But I don't know if you can interpret that just from looking at something like G overlay. Oh, that was slightly creepy. Oh, there's a hut. Died from hypothermia. Yeah, because right now this game should be over, and yet... Oh, okay, the GPU settled. The CPU still has 3 or 4 threads running at 100%, which I would not expect. Let's quit and see what happens. Ah, that's interesting. So, okay, yep, it did stop. But I still have some CPU utilization at 100%, which I am not. I would not expect. Why have I got that? Now, typically, you exit the game like this, and temperatures should drop, and they are slowly, and CPU utilization should drop like a stone. What is going on? Now, in principle, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up the system monitor. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, now that's bringing into question what I'm seeing in my system monitor. I don't know if... Yes, you can see it. I'm looking at the CPU utilization, and it doesn't agree with G-overlay, which is interesting. I mean, that's Steam. Steam's using 27%? It shouldn't be. And everything else, OBS, 7.41%, which is actually agrees with CPU utilization over there. And everything else is pretty much at 0. So why that is so high is an interesting question. Why would Steam be running so busy? Yeah, that's priorities. So okay, this is interesting. This is actually agreeing with G-overlay, which would imply that Steam is doing something I don't want it to. Alright, well, I can fix that. And Steam is taking forever to shut down. Okay, that is interesting. What was Steam doing? As far as I'm aware, it doesn't normally do this. It's taking forever to shut down. Okay, that does make me tend to wonder what this game was doing. It is slowly shutting something down. I think I can see it do that, and you might be able to as well. You can see the number of CPU cores running at 100% has dropped, but it was doing it is doing something that bothers me with Steam. Huh. OBS browser page? Alright, this is not normal behavior. So, normally you exit from a program, it exits, that's it, you're done. So, right now, I'm gonna have to say that Prologue Go Wayback is doing something to make Steam irritated. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can't. Yeah, I can't cancel that. Let's just end the process. And Steam is not wanting to end. It is really determined that it's not going. It's really determined not to stop. Which is interesting. Now when I was running this before, I literally just went into the game, looked around, exited. I didn't run multiple games. And now I've run 3. Oh, it's actually technically 4 because I ran it earlier to make sure nothing weird was happening. As I said, normally you run Steam and you shut it down and it just shuts down. There's no problem. So Prologue Go Wayback has done something disturbing. And I am now slightly stuck because it's not exiting the process, however much I might want it to. It's happily hammering away. And yes, okay, the stream isn't bothered. That's not really helping me. The sending there is going to be due to the OBS, so that's not a problem. But this, yes, I am quite bothered by that. It is not wanting to shut down at all. And force quit doesn't seem to want to work through the monitor. And let's see. And technically, even though you just saw Steam vanish from your screens there, it hasn't exited. It's still running. Because of course it is. Let's see, I can't remember. Not as familiar with some of this stuff as I should be. Yep, Steam is technically still running. Okay, so in order to resolve this, I'm going to have to reboot. Which, okay, I've been going an hour. This was only a demo and a sort of preview. What do I think? Obviously, it's very rough. The graphics, potential. The game has distinct potential, just based on what I've seen so far. It's got potential. It's a little clunky, but that just needs refinement. The graphics need some optimization. I think that's that goes without saying. Ideally, I don't want to see those sudden judders where I think it's loading a different section of the map. And the reason I say I think it's loading a section of the map is because the GPU utilization during those frame rate dramatic drops, the GPU utilization drops as well. Which means it's not potentially means it's not a graphics issue, it is something else. It could just be that the game really isn't suited for Linux and I'm having other issues. It could be a compatibility issue. That is something I could definitely try. Run a different version. But like I say, right now, I'm still going to have to reboot. It looks nice. I think if they got the graphics sorted out, I could probably run it at the high without a huge problem. And it is a bit twitchy there. When I first ran the game, it was on, and this is not today, obviously, it was on Epic. And the frame rates were actually pretty good. I can't remember what they were, I'm afraid, but I went outside and it's like, oh, okay, a bit of an issue here. You know, it started raining or hailing or snowing or whatever it was doing. And yeah, then the frame rates dropped, which is not unreasonable. You know, environmental effects will hit your system. So yeah, I think that needs to be refined somewhat. I may very well revisit this at some other point to give a second opinion. Second time round, which I probably will do at some point. Keep an eye on notifications, and you'll be notified when that occurs. And I'll try more interacting with the game. But like I say, right now I've got to reboot, and which means the stream has got to stop. And to be honest with you, it's a weekend. I really don't feel like restarting. I have to go through a whole process to restart the stream, so I'm not going to. This is me just fiddling around. So anyway, I hope you found it vaguely interesting. I look forward to seeing what more they do with it, to be honest. I like the idea of what they're doing. I like the fact it's set in Eastern Europe. Although, to be honest, what you're seeing there could just as easily have been parts of Scotland. I like the idea that potentially all you're facing is weather and your ability to read a map and a compass, which isn't hard to do, to be honest. I love the fact that the map and the contour lines seem to map up with reality in the game. That's real nice. I like that. Anybody who's used to doing, what is it they call it? Not pathfinding, orienteering. People who like orienteering will love this game, I suspect. Yeah, Steam is still happily hammering away at whatever it's doing. It is definitely worth revisiting. I mean, there have been games that I've tried once and never gone back to because it's like, nope, not that interested. There's a few games that I've given a second try, and after that really didn't feel like going back to. But this one I do feel like going back to, just to explore a bit more about the orienteering and survival aspects of it, and being a bit more focused, and yeah, seeing what happens there. So anyway, I will be back tomorrow morning. Now, I will almost certainly be back tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, where we'll be running Wintermute. I have to get out of the Bear's Cave. Because it's the weekend, and because I make things up as I go at the weekend, there's a distinct possibility I will stream something later, but I don't know what at this point. Oh, yeah, maybe. I just thought there's an Aurora concert later. in Sky, and I suddenly thought, oh, maybe I can stream that. The problem with that is, I think it's a live concert in the game, and there are major copyright issues that honestly I'm not sure I want to deal with. So I might look into that, I might not. Yep, Steam's still hacking away at whatever it's doing. So anyway, I will see you all tomorrow morning, and maybe later. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, subscribe, click notification, and obviously it'll do the usual thing and tell you when I'm active again. And if I don't see you again, because you're not watching me, I hope you all have a good weekend. Thanks for joining me for this little exploration, and I will certainly take another look at this at some other time.